We're in our old stomping grounds.
We're in High Barnet.
High Barnet, mate.
Behind us here is our very first flat. We moved here in 2014, so we've been together for a year and we moved to London, which, thinking back on it, is pretty insane.
Didn't know anyone.
Phil's uni friends, who are now my best friends.
And they're getting married.
And they're getting married soon. They also moved into the same building as
Yeah.
us. They used to live just around the corner at the back of the flat. And we both had 2 little studio flats each. So
It's cute.
our studio flat consisted of one room that had the kitchen in it,
bedroom,
our bed,
a sofa,
telly.
with a little bathroom, which was all like brand new. It was nice, but it's very small.
It was very, very small.
But it was ours, you know.
It was ours. I cried when we left because it was our first flat that we lived in.
Yeah.
It was super cheap. So back in 2014 when we lived here, it was £600.
£600 a month between the two of us.
Yeah, so it's £300 each. Bear in mind it is Zone 5 in London, so it's quite far out. And then I remember they put it up by £50 and we were furious.
Yeah,
£650?
Couldn't dream of paying $650.
But yeah, this was our old stomping ground.
10 years ago. We haven't been here in a good few years. You know.
Yeah.
It is out the way, you know, end of the
Really out
northern
the way.
line.
I used to work in Shepherd's Bush, so it would take me an hour to get there. I would commute down to Tottenham Court Road into the centre of London and then back out to the edge of
West,
London, all the way west. So, but I met the best people at that job. I met Shani there, and Rosie, and Abby, and Tina, Trent, Carisha. So many people, Bev, like literally so many people there. Shani did a little reading at our wedding.
She did.
So if I hadn't commuted an hour, I wouldn't have met all those people. So I'm glad that I did.
Yeah. What made us choose High Barnet, you might ask?
Phil went for his training day at his job, just one day, and I came up to London on that day to look at flats in case you got the job. And I went to one estate agents that was really, really dodgy and terrible.
Around here?
No, it was in central London,
Right.
and it was at the top of this block of flats. And there was a waiting room, and it was like this tiny little weird waiting room. And they were like, "Do you want this flat? It'll be £2,000 for this." And it had like bars on the window. It was awful. And then I went on Rightmove, and I saw this. So I came all the way to High Barnet, met the guy, he showed me around, and I was like, "Yep, I'll take it."
Yeah.
And then you phoned me, and you were like, "Yeah, I got the job."
You're
And I was
like,
like, "Yeah,
good.
I've got the flat."
Got the flat.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
we're
I got
good
the
to
flat.
go.
First one that we looked at straight away.
I didn't even see it though.
You didn't even see it. You were like, "Yeah, great, cool,
Trust you.
trust you."
Only known you a year, mate.
A 5-minute walk up the road from the studio flat, there was Barnet campus, like a little college, and we did an evening photography course here. And you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
I really liked it because it was like an introduction to digital photography. So it was all the theory. It all stayed with me. It sparked an interest in photography that I sort of still have today.
There was some interesting characters that did the course with us as well, and that was always really fun.
Yeah.
People of all different ages, like it was just quite funny.
It was kind of like Community, but for one
Yeah.
night a week rather than.
Yeah, if you've ever watched the TV show Community, that's what it felt like.
Just like the far reaches of the general public all brought together.
Doing
in some
a little
like
photography
night
course.
school doing a little photography.
It was really cute, to
was
be
good.
fair. It was really nice. And then we would have to walk about. How far do you think it would take us to walk to the laundrette up the road? About half an hour?
I reckon about 20 minutes with your washing, which
20
is a long
minutes. So
way.
you put all your washing in a suitcase and we'd walk up to the laundrette and we'd sit in it all day waiting for our clothes to wash.
Yeah,
Put it in
we
the washing
didn't have a
machine.
washing machine. Yeah.
You put it in the washing machine, then you'd sit there for hours, and then you take it out, you put it in the tumble dryer, and then you'd sit there for hours, and then you'd walk all the way back.
Yeah.
That's what our weekends used to be.
In London, really living that London life. Sat in laundrettes.
And then we moved eventually. Katie and Davey moved first, and I think that kind of gave us the kick up the bum to go, yeah, we should probably move more central into London. So I've taken the microphones off now just so that you can hear the road. It's quite a loud road, and the windows were really thin, and we also lived opposite a police station.
Yeah.
So the sirens would go off all the time. When we eventually moved, which is the next flat that we'll show you, when we moved in, we just lay there, we were like, it's so quiet, I can't sleep.
Couldn't sleep. I needed the noise of the traffic to like.
Yeah. So we're now at the second flat that we ever lived in. It's 18 Blue Anchor Yard.
Here we are.
It was a little one bed. It was a really nice flat, wasn't it?
Decent size.
It was a really decent size. Big double bedroom, bathroom,
Needed
living room slash kitchen.
It's quite outdated, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite old. Kind of felt like you're living at your nan's house a little bit. We wanted to stay there longer, but the landlord made us move out because he wanted to turn it into a 2-bed.
And when he then decided 3 days before we were supposed to move out that he wasn't going to do that, he said, "Do you want to stay?"
Yeah, we were like, no,
we've
sorry.
already found somewhere else now, sorry.
We've already booked the removal van.
He looked really crestfallen and disappointed.
He was really annoyed.
He was like, "Oh, that's annoying." It's like, you're telling us it's annoying, you know.
But anyway, we had a lovely time there. We really like living here. And my hairdresser is on the other side, and
You still use it,
I
don't
still
you?
use the hairdresser here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the best hairdresser in London. It's so relaxing. I'll film it for you.
Yeah.
So good. If you ever need to get your hair cut in London.
It's mostly Japanese people that get the hair. Japanese
Yeah.
people and Emma.
Yeah, it's just me.
For some reason.
It's so nice. so good.
Yeah.
And the owner, Ryoko, she follows me on
Instagram.
We're
There you
best
go.
mates. So
Besties, basically, yeah.
best buds.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where we lived. It was lovely. I think this one, it cost £1,200 per calendar month for a 1-bed.
And that was when? 2016?
Yes, 2016. Whilst we were on the tube on the way here, we had a look at how much our studio flat in High Barnet costs now. After 10 years,
Double the price now.
it's now £1,150 per calendar month for a studio.
Which is crazy.
And we
because-
paid like £600 for it.
Yeah. Madness. Maybe they've put a washing machine in which justifies
Maybe.
the price. Yeah, maybe.
So we're now at the third flat that we used to live in, which is just up here. It was a 1-bed flat that we used to rent. It had a really small kitchen, but it had a rooftop where you could see the skyline of like the Gherkin and stuff like that.
City. We're sort of on the edge of Shoreditch here, between Shoreditch and Whitechapel. We're actually on Petticoat Lane Market, and it's market day today, so it's quite busy.
Yeah.
There's like clothes and stuff for sale. Bought a shirt.
Phil gets his shirts from here all the time.
There's a guy who sells shirts, they're really nice.
They're super cheap. Don't have to iron them. They're great. But also, interestingly, there's always Jack the Ripper tours around here, because there's an alleyway just below this flat where Jack the Ripper dropped like a piece of clothing. I think it was a handkerchief that had evidence on it. Our living room was just up there, so when the Jack the Ripper tours came at night time, we'd always used to scream and then hide again.
When they said, "Oh, there's some,"
and then they'd all laugh.
losers. You ready?
Yeah, let's go get food. I don't want to hear. No, we're not screaming. Phil wants to scream. It was quite fun. We really got into our acting.
It's what you do when you've got no money.
Yeah, you just scream at people in the street. I think
really
it was 1,400 per calendar month. We moved out in 2019 from this flat.
Right.
I think we lived here for maybe 2 years.
It was 2017 to 2019. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that was our flat then.
Arcadia Court.
So we lived. That was where our living room was. So now we're at the final place that we've lived, which is Wapping.
Wapping.
Our flat. We're currently sat in the park, which is opposite the flat. We've lived here for nearly 5 years now.
2019 to present day.
Yeah, crazy. So this is the park. And then the flat is over there. We're moving. We've lived here for 5 years. We got married when we lived in this flat.
Yeah.
Obviously, we went through some quite difficult stuff in this flat with my cancer, but we beat it.
It's been our first owned property as well.
Our first owned place.
Special for that reason.
Really special, and it's just lovely.
Lots of grass and trees, which people are surprised about when they come.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, didn't they? Like, you know, we've got like a canal.
Yeah.
We're quite close to the river.
Got a butcher's and a baker's and a post office.
There used to be a candlestick maker, but they closed.
Nice one.
They what?
And you know, 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it's the right time for us to move out of London, which is really crazy because we've lived here for a third of our lives.
Basically spent most of our professional
And personal, like our relationship,
been
like
in
we
London,
said earlier, that we were together for 1 year before we moved to London.
Yeah.
And today we've been together for 11 years. Today.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Lots of people, when they come to London, they enjoy it, but they say, "Oh, I could never live here because it's too busy."
Yeah.
Actually, if you hang out in Wapping, go to some riverside pubs, eat some nice food,
You might want to live here.
you might want to live here because it's good.
Maybe you want to live in our flat.
Maybe you want to, yeah. Anyone wants to buy it.
Does anyone want it? Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.